So there's a couple actually. I mean, there have been several, and another really important attribute that I talk to our juniors about that I've tried to do is to actually listen. So many people, and it's a very common trait in life. Everyone likes talking about themselves, and I work very hard to make sure that actually I get everyone else talking about themselves, and you learn so much if you listen. And so it's a bit like interview technique where the candidate's meant to do 90% of the talking and you do 10%. So often you get into sell mode where the candidate is doing only the complete reverse, and that's totally wrong. The answer to your question, again back to the listening. So first one is an interesting one, is one Chips Keswick. Chips Keswick was CEO of Hambros, the merchant banks where I grew up, with Schroders and Warburgs and Chips. I mean, his Christian name was Chippendale, and actually, yes, he was named Chippendale because of the bed that he was conceived in, believe it or not, and had a very rarefied atmosphere in terms of blue-blooded merchant banker, and everyone knows the Keswick family extremely wealthy. And he went through the public schools and rarefied atmosphere. But Chips was an interesting character. He was the only one in the bank that called me Charlie, and he used to get on the phone to me and he used to go, "Charlie, the computer's broke." And actually, you know, we had hundreds of computers in the merchant bank. I was CEO, Treasury and Capital Markets at the time. But he had this lovely way whereby he could simplify everything, like that example, on the basis of I then had to work out which computer may have broken and get onto it, of really just getting to the issues that mattered and staying at the 50,000 feet level in relation to actually the perception. He had this uncanny nature of always getting the right topic and knowing where the weakness is or the right question to ask. Wasn't very good on the detail, and that had to come later as Barings crisis and directors on bank boards changed, and actually you need to know exactly what was going on in your bank. But what I loved about Chips was the style, the engagement, and the simplicity in terms of focus on the main issues. And he taught me a lot in relation to just interaction and personnel style. A second one was one Chuck Winograd, moving to RBC, a hard-nosed investment banker who ran at RBC Capital Markets. High-paced, high energy, very, very clever. And when I first started at RBC Capital Markets, essentially, I always remember he used to ask various questions, and he used to say to me, "Charlie, you shouldn't say that you need to go and find an answer and come back. You should be able to answer all my questions straight off the bat. And even if you can't answer it, you should give me an opinion, right? 80-20, you should have a feel for the answer to that." So not only were you involved in the strategic conversations at Operating Committee, I need to know how much we were spending on paper clips or whatever the detail was. And very soon I realised I had to work immensely hard to actually be a master of the strategy, but actually really know the detail. And if I didn't have the right judgment to give a good enough 80-20 answer, that was brilliant grounding on the basis of. The other aspect he used to say to me was, "Charlie, I should only have to ask you once." Unfortunately, my team actually have to take this and the rest of, you know, you can ask a question, but if I have to tell you the second or third time, there must be a problem. That soon makes you listen and process and execute well. And so that was very, very good training in relation to trying to get things right first.